What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? That's the internet for you. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. How's everyone doing this morning? We'll just let that play out. I'll say good morning to a few people this morning. Thanks for coming in, everybody. Good morning, Uncle B's Old School Flips. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, No Money G. How you doing this morning? Good morning, Lisa. How are you? And Adam's in the house. Hey, Adam. Sand-Dollar, good morning. Thanks for coming in. Philly Picker, how you doing? Hey, Jerry, how are you this morning? Gee, all right, I'm not. Stacy, how are you? I think I'm caught up. If you're on, there's quite a few people on the Facebook side. Come over to YouTube and join the chat. I know a lot of my Facebook friends are not YouTubers or online resellers, but still, come on in, join the chat. Good morning, Jerry. How are you this morning, Jerry? So this morning is our Thursday. I wanted to, never been on Facebook, Lisa? I wanted to change up the topic a little because I have to do some work this weekend to come up with outlines for new topics. And this one today, I wanted to talk about eBay stores, and I wanted to let everyone, so if you want to work on this while I'm talking, grab a link to your eBay store. I wanted to talk about everybody's eBay store, everybody that wants to. Maybe there's an item in there that somebody might be interested in the chat and get it sold. And maybe somebody will see something that you may want to change, or may have an idea for you, or maybe some keywords or something. So if you have an old item that's not selling and you're wondering why, put it, put it in the chat here, and we'll go through them, and we'll see if maybe we could help get something sold, or just chat about your eBay store. Haven't had many sales on eBay lately because I don't have that many items, but have been doing a lot more sales on Amazon. Amazon's still rocking, so I'm glad for that. So today at 11, we are on total lockdown till the 9th. And, we just have to go along with it and do what we have to do to stay safe, stay healthy, I guess. Not watched a live, only use it for people that want. Okay. There's a lot of people now, Lisa, doing auctions on Facebook. And there's not as many problems I'm seeing with the Facebook side. There is a lag, not as bad as YouTube, but they're not having as many problems as YouTube auctions has. The lag has never been. Well, I've watched 4 or 5 different ones, mostly comics, old toys. I was on Mr. B's last night. Lisa, the other Lisa, flipping crazy. We were buying or bidding on some rock and roll posters. Good morning, Dana. I showed my son because when he does his previews, and he had a poster that I know my son would like, because my son is into cars, old cars. Like he has a 56 Ford pickup truck. He's always been into cars. So I bought that poster for him. And then I said, hey, he's got a couple coming up for auction that I think you might like. So my son was still working back home. And he told me he watched the video of the preview. And good morning, Arthur. I bid on a couple and I won a couple that he wanted. They were very, very cool. They're limited and very, very cool. But he does an auction on Facebook every afternoon, I believe, at 5. And he's got some real cool old ephemera, paper, old postcards, old posters, all that kind of stuff. So we were on there. I think Lisa got 1. I got 2 of the 4 or 5 that I was looking at. But that was cool. I mean, I've bought that one poster from him before and it came out, my son loved it. It was great. And that was limited and signed also. So today, like I said, we could talk about your store if you want. I'm going to put a link in because Uncle B's like to come in and talk a little. Good morning, Carol. So there's the link. But if anyone wants to highlight their store, their eBay store, if you don't have a store, you could do one item. If you have one item that maybe is not selling and you're wondering why, let's look at it. Let's check it out. Maybe somebody can give you, good morning, Bargain Effect. Maybe somebody can give you an idea. Maybe, I'm not saying criticize, but, maybe somebody could come up with something that might be able to get it sold for you. So it's just an idea I had, if anyone's interested. And Record Crate's interested. So let's take a look at this. And Adam, use the link. If you want to come in and talk about it, use the link and come in and talk about it. Good morning, Sleepless Hustler. Flippin' Flamingos, good morning. So Adam said he just opened his store last night. Wow, and he's already got 91 listings. Not bad for last night. I'm pretty sure you said last night, Adam. So don't forget to put your logo there, and do some kind of, backdrop for your page. And if you need help with that, anybody, if they need help with this, you could go to Fiverr. Fiverr.com. Here, let me do this. Fiverr.com. And you can get people, you could put it out for bid. Say, hey, I am looking for someone. Well, everybody has specialties in there. You could have someone say that they're into design. So you could put out for a bid. I'm looking for a new banner for my YouTube page. I'm looking for a banner for my my eBay store. So most of them have done it already. So they know the size, they know what to do, they know how many pixels it has to be and all that stuff. So, and $5, you could spend as much as, I don't know, I've seen some things on there for $300 to get really elaborate. I've seen some cool ones too with video in that area. So let's bring on Adam and Uncle Bees. Good morning, Uncle Bees.
Morning.
Uncle Bees.
Hello, Adam.
You were just talking about Fiverr. I'll have to check that out.
Oh, you didn't know about Fiverr?
I've heard of it, but I didn't know that's what you could do on there. So you can get like a custom YouTube banner made.
Oh,
you could get anything on there, to tell you the truth.
Really?
When it first got
with that.
Yes, when it first got started, people said $5. I can get something done for $5. But there's like things on there. I will write the name of your company on my forehead and walk around town for 4 hours for $5. Things like that.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, there's other people that say that have a specialty. Like my wife tells me all the time, you should go on there. You should put your, things up there, because I love doing design. I've never went to school for graphic design, but I love doing it. Right. But there's people that are certified in graphic design, HTML, and I need a one-page website written. Just whatever you think, whatever you could use for your business.
That's a really awesome resource for them. And whoever thought of that, that's a great idea.
Exactly. Now, granted, most of the people are overseas, so $2 an hour for them
makes sense.
Yeah, $2 an hour for them is a good paycheck.
Yep. Hey, I don't want to take away from Adam. I know Adam just jumped in and got his store up real quick, so I'm fine with if you want to go into that topic real quick. Let's. How's it going, Adam? By the way.
All right. But yeah, if you want, put a link to your store in there also.
Okay. Yeah. I can just put a link into the chat.
Yeah, just give me a minute so the chat doesn't, so I don't have to find it. Yeah. But get it ready.
Okay.
So Adam, you just did this last night?
Yesterday afternoon, I opened the eBay store, but I had listings on eBay. So when I opened the store, it just transferred.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say 91 listings.
91 things last night, and
yeah, and that's what I was saying. 91 in 24 hours. That's really good.
So if I'm not mistaken, everything I have is new pressings of records, and I don't think there's any audio equipment in here, but yeah, scrolling through.
So what is your wow, they have bootlegs.
Say again?
I'm looking at this Humble Pie official bootleg.
Oh yeah, that's an official record.
But they call it a bootleg?
That's what they say. Yeah, I do have one CD in there, I just noticed.
Well, good morning, Adam. Now, I remember when I was a kid, maybe a teenager.
Have a t-shirt.
I remember. I was always into the Beatles. I mean, when I was really young, I had to go to my neighbor's house to watch them come into New York and all that stuff. But I remember they came out with a box set of Beatles songs, 4 albums, and they had posters in it. And I believe that was a bootleg, but it was advertised on TV. It was a TV thing only. Do you remember that?
I don't, but I've had that record before. I think it was a Canadian pressing, and it was like, yeah. and I've had it before. It's very desirable in the Beatles community.
I can imagine. That's like Let It Be on DVD.
It may have been on the TEEVEE TV.
I think so. I think it was 4 album set
on the TV label.
Yeah,
and it may have been called or something like that. Yeah,
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Do you sell DVDs, right?
I do. I have lots of DVDs.
Do you have Let It Be on DVD?
I don't, but I can provide a link where you can watch Let It Be on archive.org.
Oh, no, I have it on DVD.
Oh, you have it on DVD? Yeah.
I had a quick question. So you said you just started your store yesterday?
I did.
Just because this kind of stuff I love. Like, how are the views early on? Like, are you getting a lot of interest, a lot of views, any watchers yet? Like,
well, the stuff that's listed in the store is stuff that I had on eBay before I opened the store. And when it was time to have an insertion fee, I was like, maybe this is the time to do the eBay store,
right?
So that I could list more and more and more. And I mentioned in my earlier chat, but I'm going to be able to bring in one employee to help me with eBay.
Wow.
This week for a few hours, so I've got to reach out to my employees with that. But so I've always just followed the watchers and followed the views on the eBay items anyway.
Okay.
And so I'm sure I can look at it a little differently now with it being a store.
Right. I got you.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, Adam, I'm going to start giving you some critique here. Not that I'm a pro or an expert. So, and everybody, I'm sorry if I'm missing anybody that came in, but good morning. Thanks for coming in. Where I'm offering for people to promote an item maybe that hasn't sold, or your store, just, we'll come in and talk about it. Maybe anybody in the audience here could give you some critique, but you got to get your logo up there. And
you got a good logo, so
I thought I liked that. The different values.
He's going for the Minecraft look.
I love colors.
You could put the colors behind your name, but don't forget, it's all about branding. It's all about branding. You want your brand, and I just look at this from a business point of view. You want your brand to follow you everywhere. You want it to be consistent. You want them to know that this is your store. And the categories, you only get 91 listings. Don't wait until you get 600 to do your categories.
Okay.
Yeah, because what if somebody's looking, like I saw an album you had there that I remember buying also, because I've always been into disco, believe it or not.
Yeah, you could do genre-based categories. Yep.
Yeah, like right here. You got somebody looking for a 12-inch single of disco from 78 or something. They're not going to look at hoops.
Green Day. I just saw Green Day up there.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at Green Day.
So you should really like soundtracks, 12-inch singles.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Things like that. So you make it easy for people to find stuff.
And you can do like subcategories. So you could do disco, and then you could do, I don't know a lot about records, but what are the smaller ones called again? There's a
45s.
Yeah, so you could do regular, and then the smaller ones. So you could do disco, then the different size records. You could do subcategories. Mm-hmm. Just ideas. It's good. I think it's a good idea.
I guess think about it, Adam, is the same thing you have in your store. Like you have these in areas, or are they just alphabetical?
I do have different categories, and yeah, I do.
Yeah, so it's the same thing. This is going to be, think of this as going to be an extension of your store.
And a big part of it is, like, I see you already have 14 followers, so that means they're coming directly to your store. To give them an option to sort through stuff would be nice, When you have followers, they're coming directly into your store, And
right.
That's going to grow obviously fast for you. You already got, because you're going to have a ton of inventory. I already know. I seen your store. I watched it when you were on last time. You got a lot of inventory to list.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Penny. Yeah, Adam said the same thing. Consistent branding. It's just there's so much you could do at the store. So many ways to customize it. Like you could have records on the top and
Yeah,
just
that'd be cool.
going. Yeah, and just you could make it, what do they call it? When they just keep moving and moving and moving, changing. Like a film strip.
Right.
And when you have a store also, you have the option or the ability to, on the very top, like they call it before the fold, of putting featured items. So you could do a CD, an album, a 45.
And those feature items seem to do a little bit better. You know why I know that? Because I haven't updated mine in a while, and I don't have any there.
Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah. Well, that's good information. I appreciate it. So I wrote down logo, category, subcategory, and some suggestions of soundtrack, 12-inch, and then.
I'll say your pictures look really good. Nice. What are you using for a camera?
iPhone.
Just an iPhone? Okay. Yeah, they look really good. They look really clear. So,
Well,
I mean, some people will say backdrop is important. Some of the best eBayers, the backdrop hasn't affected them. If you're doing it right, it doesn't help that much. The only thing that the backdrop does help with is Google. So if someone was searching for your record on Google and you don't have a white backdrop, it won't show up on Google. Just so you know. Google wants if you were I'm sure, Paul, were you at the eBay Open? That was when Google had a class there.
I didn't go, but I did see the video. And
the one thing they said is they want that white backdrop. And then if your record has a UPC, to make sure put the UPC in it. So if you want to expand some of the search on your records, maybe consider a white backdrop or just cropping it perfectly square so there's nothing in the backdrop. That's something to consider in the future, though.
Right.
Especially if you're putting a lot of records that are new in the package.
Mm-hmm.
So new records in the package, you'll have a good chance of showing up in Google search if you do those kind of things. So just something to think about maybe in the future.
Okay.
That's why eBay is trying to be like Amazon, because Amazon will only allow photos with a white background.
Right. I'm going to start off by saying I don't 100% agree with that, but that's the way they're going. Like Paul said, it's the way they're going. So it's something.
Well, I think the logic behind it is because if you go to Macy's or I don't know what some of the other stores are, Nordstrom or something like that, and you go to Best Buy or whatever, you go to their websites, their pictures are just the product.
Yep.
They will have one picture, not the first one, but they will have a picture of, say, a DVD player on a console or something like that, a TV in a living room. Right. But the first picture is just the product, white background.
Okay.
And eBay now, I believe it's on the phone. I haven't used it yet. eBay has that app where you could take a picture and it automatically gets rid of the background. Automatically makes it a white background.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah.
Now I thought
it'd be cool for people just to see that I have other things around the shop and have an opportunity to show, and then
I agree. That's why I said I don't fully agree with it. I'm just it's just something to consider if you want Google search to be involved. And early on, you can look at the numbers. If you look at your view, you can look at your views, and you'll see, like, if I get 500, 700 views a day, maybe 20 of them are from Google. So,
yeah. Good morning,
Mick. It is still views. So,
I guess it stopped raining where Mick is. He sees the sun. He's not sure what it is. I just wanted to bring up my site. Now, like I said, I am not an expert. I don't say I'm an expert or whatever. I tweak mine all the time. I made my background. I put it up there. I had to do it a few times until I got the size right. The small picture, I just put a couple of toys there with the logo on it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a little about me thing here, because you want people to say, well, hey, I've been in the record business for 50 years and, I sell records. No record. And I like what you said the other night on your auction. and you could come up with something like no record leaves the store before it goes through our cleaner. I never knew there was a record cleaner.
Really?
I have one for discs. I never knew there was one for records.
Real quick, Paul, just so I don't have a wrench, but I put my unknowingly I put my link up, forgetting that I don't have a wrench. So my link's up there but you can't click on it.
Okay, I will see it. I will see it, or I'll just tell you when to put it up there again.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So yeah, and then Adam, like I have these categories, and of course I have subcategories. Now I have more than this, but I don't have. I think I only have 18 items up there. I haven't put back everything. Now, granted, I don't have white backgrounds because I just started putting everything up. But like, see this. Now, this is from the company's website. So, and I don't know if you have the availability to do that with albums. If they show if the company shows the product without a background.
They do. You have one. Greatest hits. Was that television's greatest hits?
Yeah, I have 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, see now, like Dexter, I took the background out myself. On this one, I took the background out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's just going to take a little fine tuning, but do it now while you got 91 items. Like I said before, you have 600, and you got to put them in categories and change this and change that. Like if you click on a category, action figures, it should just bring up the action figures.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Yep.
I'm going to get critiqued. Then my categories are a little bit of a mess right now.
Thank you, Carol, for following me. I appreciate that. Carol followed me on eBay. Thank you, Carol.
Oh, cool.
It
says, look at the chat too. I know I'm not going over everybody's. I'm sorry if I missed anybody. Thanks for coming in. But yeah, think of what do you think? We play our records full of dust and dirt. Search engine optimization. Yeah, you got to look at search engine optimization and stuff like that. And I mean, you might be surprised. You start making some changes, and all of a sudden, you're getting more sales. You know, and that's the only way it's going to prove that it works.
Oh, you can hit refresh on that, Paul. I added my logo.
Oh, you did already, huh?
Let's check it out.
Refresh.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yep, looks good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Search engine optimization.
That's funny. My son just made My son just made a plastic business card like that.
Mm-hmm.
He bought a what do they call it? You scan something and it does a 3D printer. And I guess he just bought a CAM app, and he made his own business card out of it's like a poker chip.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really cool. So is that what that is?
It's a sticker.
Oh, okay.
Sticker. And I use the drop T font.
Very cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, like see, he did that. So they look like poker chips.
That's cool. Hey, Anthony just dropped in.
Anthony, how you doing?
Anthony.
Anthony just started dabbling in Amazon, I see, yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of this. Okay. What's your you want me to just call you Uncle Bees or
I go by Jim. My name is Jimmy.
All right, Jimmy. You want to put your link in again? So anybody that wants to talk about this store, let me know. Just give me a minute so I don't have to go looking for your link.
I'm going to answer Simple Dana's question. So the cleaner that I have is called VPI. It's a wet vacuum system, and so it actually vacuums. I'm not a fan of using a towel or anything and pressing on the record. I just feel like you're just pressing more dust and dirt into the grooves. On my Facebook page, which is Record Crate Raleigh, I have a video that teaches people how to wash records in the sink. And that's what I used before I got my VPI.
Just wash them in the sink. What?
Yes, absolutely. I put all the myths behind, and I put all the worry and the scares behind, and I show you how to wash a record in the sink. So you're welcome.
You made a YouTube video of that?
It's on my Facebook page, Record Crate Raleigh.
Okay.
And it's.
What about the label?
I never think about the label. You'll see the video, the label gets wet. I could care less.
Huh. It won't come off?
I never think about it.
Wow.
It's actually heat pressed into the vinyl when the vinyl's pressed.
Oh, yeah. I never knew that.
Yeah, I don't like to use a towel on records, Dan. I use a brush. I have a microfiber brush that you can brush them. You can use a makeup brush like you would apply makeup. And if you have one that's new or clean, you can brush the dust away.
So I got a very uneducated question because I don't know a lot about records at all.
Sure.
And it's probably gonna make a couple of people cringe. If a record has scratches, I mean, is there a way to correct that? Or obviously I'm young. Records are a little bit before my time, and CDs was always you can get them fixed and get scratches removed with a CD repair. How do you guys? Is there a way to repair records if they're scratched?
So I like to refer to records having marks on them. Will the mark? Yes, sir. The mark on the surface, will it affect the play? Did the mark go into the grooves?
Right.
And what you recognize is it actually dirt. So the whole idea with playing records, you would like to have a good sound. And so can you remove the dirt? Can you clean the record so it sounds better? And then sometimes if you run across a record and it jumps or repeats,
yep,
it'll be something inside the groove that needs to be cleaned.
Okay.
And so it's just stuff I've learned over the years. Of course, my customers don't have to think about it because I do all this stuff for them. Yeah. And so you always want to make sure when you purchase a record, I'll show you quickly how to properly, not only properly inspect a record, but how to properly handle it. You never, ever, ever want to touch the surface of the vinyl. So you hold it by the edge.
Right. I've seen people hold it that way, so that makes sense. Yep.
You never pinch it. You never hold it up like that. That's just horrible. And then you just want to look at the surface of the vinyl. You rotate it around so that you can see the light on it. And you want to find a record that is as clean as possible, as black as possible, unless it's a colored vinyl. And you want to make sure that it is, that way. And then you want to hold it in the middle of your fingers. And you want to check to make sure that it's flat. And I generally hold it like this, where I'm holding it out and I'm looking at it. I flip it over because I want the record to be flat. And that's how records are meant to play, flat and clean. And that's the difference between getting $300 for a record and getting $35 for a record.
Makes sense. No, that's good information. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and
I see records all the time. I've sold maybe 4 records. It's just something I don't know a lot about, so I'm definitely a little bit scared and intimidated by them because I just don't know like you said, the proper care or even what to look for on condition.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. And it's something I learn every day. A lot of people are like, "Oh, records are hot. I'm just going to buy all these records," and end up buying.
I guess I should backtrack on the fact that our records are before my time because records are hot right now. So they're actually after my time right now. So
I was trying to figure out when you were born, if they were after. Yeah, I mean,
I was a kid. I was a kid in the '80s, so
we had records in the '80s.
Yeah, I grew up with cassettes though.
Our first vinyl record was pressed in 1949. It was pressed by RCA, and records have continued to be pressed up till yesterday, and they're still being pressed today. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
I still have some of my family's old 78s.
Yeah, and
from back in the day.
Don't put those underwater. If you have a 78 and they're made out of buckskins, don't put those underwater. They'll just deteriorate. You can compost 78.
Although Good morning, Elk Bugles, I believe.
68. Wow.
Oh yeah, elk. What's that record in her avatar? Her avatar.
Oh. And their little thumbnail.
I don't know. I can't read it.
Put their question back up. Yeah, I can see. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't read it.
What's the record in your thumbnail, Elk? We have to know that.
Wendy. Wendy, come over to the YouTube channel and you can chat along with everybody.
Hi,
Thanks
Wendy.
for stopping by. And if I missed anybody else, I'm sorry. Good morning. Thanks for coming in. We're talking about people's eBay stores. If you have an eBay store you'd like us to look at, definitely.
Oh, the troll.
All the trolls. How did you see that? Simply Dana, how did you see? How were you able to see that?
You got a big display.
She got the 50-inch monitor.
Or maybe they saw it on Facebook and you can enlarge the image. I don't know.
Hey, Wonder Woman is in the house.
Wait, let's get the whole. I want to hear it all now. Well, we got to sing it all.
Yeah. Okay, so you should be able to put the link in there now, Jimmy.
Oh yeah, see, I got a wrench now. Hey, thanks. All right.
Wonder Woman.
My pictures have gotten better over time. I'm doing the white background. I'm not using anything to take out the background either. I just kind of set up a little photo box. Man, a handmade photo box that I'm using.
Okay.
My categories are probably a little bit of a mess right now. I probably need to go back and look at them. But I'm ready for it. Give me the critiques.
Okay.
We'll bring in.
Hey, there it is.
There we go. I like the background.
That was my original logo, so maybe I need to change that. That was the original logo. I was going to go with the Uncle B's.
Yeah, you could just. Is this permanently on the background?
Yeah.
So you could clean this up and just make it on white and put it in here.
Yeah. I have it on just white. So it isn't permanent. I have just a white one, yeah.
Yeah, then you could just put it in here.
Yep, that's a good
And
idea.
just-
I didn't even realize I hadn't done that yet.
Yeah, and just add something about yourself and your basically like your mission statement, they call it.
Okay.
What you're about, what the stores.
That's on my user. How do you? What are you saying? Just put it up, or like type it into the.
Yeah, like see.
How do you get that there?
You just when you open your store, you'll have that little link right there on the right hand side. Manage my store.
Yeah.
And that's where you make all your tweaks. That's where you add all your categories, subcategories, and all that stuff.
There's somewhere you can add that little. I didn't know you can do that.
About me and all that stuff.
Okay.
Ooh, 14 people watching. Do you send out your best offers?
Yeah, I did recently. Yep. I actually had my best day of the year because I sent out offers.
Now, isn't that weird? Although these are both the same, right?
They're a little different.
But you got 14 watching this and nobody watching this.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, eBay.
The title is
Sometimes you send out watchers, and then so like if you send them out on different days, the watchers come back after 2 days or whatever.
right.
So I send out offers every other day or whatever. So maybe this one needs to be redone.
But you said they were they look a little different, but the title is exactly the same.
No, if you look, it's Leah and Ginger, and then Leela and Cookie.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they're basically the same except for the two character names. Yeah.
Yeah, what I might do is put Leela and Cookie, Polly Pocket Fashion. I would put Polly Pocket, Leela, and Cookie, and on this one, Polly Pocket, Leela, and Ginger. That's just me. I mean, you change it up a little.
Right.
So you're into toys too. That's cool.
Oh yeah, I'm big into toys. I buy them all on most of my toys I get from Facebook Marketplace. I look for collectors that are moving their toys.
Yeah.
That's for the most part, that's where I find my toys. And I have a ton of toys listed.
Spawn's coming back big time.
Is it? See, in my last video, I just said that I'm not buying Spawn anytime soon because now they're making a movie, right?
He's making a new movie, but where are you located?
I'm just north of Denver.
Oh,
okay. All right.
Yeah, matter of fact, my phone just got the emergency alert that we're on statewide lockdown.
Yeah, we too, starting tonight. But he was at Todd McFarlane at Toy Fair in New York 3 weeks ago, whatever it is now. And he was showing like the Mortal Kombat. He made a Spawn figure for the Mortal Kombat series.
That's cool.
And he's doing a new Spawn, like an Ultimate Spawn. And he's going to do some kind of GoFundMe with it or something like that because he wants to sell it directly to the people and not go through stores with it.
So I do have a question about then that leads to my big question about Spawn. Because growing up and to this day, I think they're the coolest looking action figures you can find. Like the detail's amazing.
Yep.
But early on when I started selling on eBay, I bought a lot of them thinking, and for the most part, every one I've ever bought did not have a lot of value. Like there's some that like they're not even worth listing on eBay.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. Like
why is that? What is it? Was it oversaturated in the 90s or?
Everything was overset. I mean, I had a comic store back in the 90s, late 80s to the mid 90s. And I mean, in the 90s, they started making comics, millions of copies.
Right.
That's why I tell people, if you're going to get into comics and you're doing it for an investment, go for the stuff that's 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Right.
Because you're lucky if they made 100,000 copies for the country or the world. And then in the 90s started the flood of variant covers. Yeah. And they're doing it again now. They're killing the comic shops and they're killing the collectors because they're saying, well, I like that cover. Do I need this cover? Do I need that cover? And, enough's enough. But like when the X-Men #1 came out.
For the same comic.
Right. When the X-Men #1 came out, I think it said 93, 4 different covers, then a gatefold cover, and they made over a million copies of it. I think I still have a full case of that one book.
Wow.
I still have they didn't come in a case. They came wrapped in plastic of one of the Disney comics that came out because people, every time there's a #1, I got to get 4 or 5 because it's going to be something. It's going to be something. But the Spawn figures, I just sold one recently that it didn't go for much money, but he's going to start bringing them out again. He wants to redo the original line with more articulation, different kind of sculpt, updating it. So
do you think the older stuff's going to get hot again, or do you think it's going to remain?
Well, look what happened. I don't know if you follow, but look what happened to Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
That was kind of dead for a while.
Right.
All of a sudden, Mattel re-released them.
Yeah.
And now people want the older stuff. Like I just bought a Castle Grayskull. I got a fantastic deal on it.
All right.
But the older stuff now is going for a lot of money.
It is. And they're not, are they making is there any kind of movie or any, coming
They-
out for Master?
They canceled the movie.
Because they've tried a couple. They tried the one movie, kind of like Spawn, not very good movies.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But I mean, those were quite a while ago, but not very good movies at all.
Yep.
They need to try to make Masters of the Universe has to happen. Like eventually, that has to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's popular for it not to.
But with this lot of 4.
Ooh, Jerry Garcia hat.
So that's
yeah.
old. That's an old picture. So don't be. I probably
This
need to,
one. This one.
Yeah, that's one of my old. That's a listing I've had for a while.
Yeah, I would just take the figures, take a picture of each one.
Yeah, so if
And
you
then-
go on, maybe I don't. I probably don't. I might.
Yeah, I would take a picture of each one and then just put them side by side. Mend the pictures together if you can do that.
Yeah.
And with the black background, you could just use a gray background.
Okay.
Smokey the Bear. Only you can prevent forest fires.
When I do action figures, because this is just something that I do. Because you're doing the same thing just about like everyone. I don't know if I did it because, like I said, I only have 17 listed, 18 listed. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll just take a picture of the character like right there.
Like a close up.
Just a very the very, very close picture.
Right.
Because hardly anybody does that.
Just something to be different. Okay. And
Yeah.
you can see better detail of the action figure too.
Exactly.
Kind of like how I have that Disney one right next to it. That's a little bit more close up.
Yep.
What was that T-shirt? I'm sorry.
That's a
JD.
James Dean memory t-shirt. Yeah. T-shirts. When I'm looking for t-shirts, I'm looking for vintage, rare, old t-shirts. I'm not looking for anything new. So that I don't have a lot of t-shirts, but when I find them, that's what I look for.
Yeah, that's cool. Good morning, Land Shark Picker.
See, I mean, I think I have just right around 900 active listings on eBay right now.
Wow.
So it's learning how to juggle it. I'm learning how to manage that many listings, keep everything looking good, keep everything updated. It's definitely a lot of work. I mean, you call it work. I enjoy it, but it's still it's time consuming, I should say, to keep it all looking good and keeping everything, every once in a while, just kind of changing stuff up and refreshing your listings. It's a decent amount of work when you have that, or when you have that many listings.
Right. Exactly. I don't know why you don't have your featured.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know why you don't have your featured ones. Like,
Yeah,
it's probably something you have to tweak.
I could do that right now. Matter of fact, I'll do that.
Yeah, you could do like one from each category, or what you think. Sometimes when I used to put up my oldest 3, and just to say they're featured, and people may want to look at them and say, hey, these are featured. I mean, you got 57 followers, you never know.
Yeah, that's just laziness. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna do it right now.
No problem. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well today.
Someone asked earlier about a light box. Excuse me, Paul. Someone asked earlier about taking images with a light box. Any comments from anybody on that?
I have one. I don't use it anymore. I actually bought a light system. I have the 2 big lights, and I have a backdrop, and I use one of the what do they call them? The folding tables from Walmart that are white. So I push that up against the backdrop, and I take the pictures like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have 100-watt lights. And I use the daylight lights because that's I think it's the most natural light. And I use that. But yeah, the light boxes, because the other thing is some of the items I was selling were, like 20 inches, 18 inches, and you really can't do it with a light box. Because the light box, I think, is probably 18 by 18 by 18, the ones I've seen. I think the one I have is like that.
Okay.
I
don't. I just take my iPhone and go shoot.
Yeah, no, cameras are good. I mean, the cameras on the phone a lot of times are better than regular cameras. I mean, I have a big camera, a professional camera, but then I have to take the disc out, put it in the computer, and do everything. When I do it on my Mac, the nice thing is I could take pictures with the phone and just hit the button, and they'll all go to my Mac. And then I can list it that way. What I've been doing, like when I listed those 18 again, what I did is I just sat here, scanned, because I use a barcode scanner. Yeah, well, let's do this. Similar to Amazon, I have my barcode scanner. So I'll scan the barcode, the item will pop up, and then I'll sell similar, and I'll do everything I need to do, and then I'll save it as a draft. And then I'll just go in with the phone and complete the drafts. I'll have the item next to me. That's why you see on a couple of my pictures there now, the brown background, because that's my table right here. I'll just take the pictures and then activate it.
Okay, that's helpful. Yeah.
All right. I'm trying to find an action figure to put on my. Got to find the right action figure to put up there in my.
Yep.
Got to find a good one.
With me listing, I just use the camera for the UPC scanner.
Yep.
And
then like a model kit. All right.
Uncle B, Jimmy, do you participate in any of the YouTube auctions?
I've viewed them. I haven't bought anything yet. I haven't done a lot up until now. I haven't done a lot of online sourcing. I usually do just like local estate sales, thrift stores, yard sales.
Do you offer things for sale during any of the YouTube auctions?
What's that?
You offer for sale?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'll have to get you on sometime if you want to sell some of your stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be awesome. I bought a bunch of toys this winter while I was sourcing on Facebook Marketplace. I was just able to find a lot of people moving their collections. So I have a lot of toys right now. Some from the 90s, which aren't doing as well, but I have a lot of Star Wars action figures, like the collectible ones, like the Legacy collection, the Saga collection, with the Build-A-Figures and the Droid Factory.
Okay, yeah.
So I watch you, Paul, because do I know a lot about toys? Not as much as you, that's for sure. I know what the popular toys are. I know what the popular shows are, and what toys are good. I just don't know a ton about the actual lines, like the Legacy collection. I learn about that stuff as I go, and then by watching you and when you talk about them and other YouTubers. So I know what toys to look for as far as the show and the characters.
Yeah.
And it's all research on the phone from there. And I'm just, I'm trying to definitely grow my knowledge on it.
With that stuff, like Star Wars, I just want to address one thing. Elk, Mr. Adams store, do you have dedicated? Yes, he does. If you go back, we looked at his eBay store earlier in this broadcast. And then if you look at my shows, it's going to be 3 weeks now. We did a walkthrough of one of Adam's 3 stores. Very cool stuff. And then Adam also does auctions, I think, every other night.
Auctions and buy it now sales is my lifeline now, so I get on here as much as I can.
Right. Yeah, and I agree with that. Now, Jimmy, Uncle Bees was saying, he does a lot of online sourcing. A lot of us are in being sequestered in our house, even if you're not. I was talking to Dolly, and you could look at this show too. Dolly is one who every single morning, one of the first things she does is get on the computer and source Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, all those local sites. And she finds a lot of stuff. And she brings it to auction. Jimmy, Gary's asking if you have any Batman stuff. He bought a lot of my Batman stuff. And Gary, I asked somebody for you about the Figures Inc. Batman. I'm trying to locate them for you. Sorry to get off topic, but a lot of stores are closed, like just about everything. After today here, almost everything, unless you sell food and bread.
Where's Adam at?
I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina.
So you have a brick and mortar. How's that going for you?
I have 3 brick and mortars.
3 brick and mortar. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just talking about.
But I'm just saying this, like you're doing. What Dolly does is there is still a way to source, even though the Goodwills and the Salvos and stuff are closed. People are out of work. Some of them are getting paid. A lot of them are not. They need money. So like Jimmy says, he bought whole collections.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people, I'm guilty of it myself. I'll buy something and, you can see behind me the walls of action figures and stuff. After a while, it's like, well, I don't care about that anymore. So I'll sell a whole collection. And you get people like yourself, Jimmy, or other people that, well, I don't want to collect this anymore, or I'm moving. And I need the room.
Yep.
So there is still good sourcing out there you could do.
My problem now is I can't go out. If I find something on Facebook Market, I can't go get it now. So now that's even, we just went on lockdown just now, literally within the last hour. So now, that's how I was doing it. I was finding collections on Facebook Market or Craigslist. Now I can't go pick that stuff up. So now I have to.
You can always say you could meet the people at your grocery store or something, and all you got to do is say, "Hey, I'm
groceries." Essential groceries. Yeah. Right. Obviously, we're not trying to make light of it, but in these times, sometimes you just have to make a little bit light of it. To mentally get through this. Yeah.
Yep.
To get some essential groceries. They're Batman groceries.
Right. You got to do what you got to do to survive.
I just went in my trunk to get my reusable bags, and next thing I know, somebody throws in Batman.
I wouldn't believe King Soopers had a great sale on Batman today.
Right. Now let's take a look, because Jerry just updated his store.
Oh,
check it out.
And this is just how quick this will work. If anybody, says, "Oh, it's going to take too long."
I'm going to make it
real quick.
Items.
That was just a real quick. I'll probably update it later, but that was just a real quick.
Yeah, and then
I have hard goods and I have clothes and I have shoes, but that stuff's not fun to me, so I don't want that on my featured items.
I hear you, and I'm like the same. I don't want to do clothes anymore, and I talk to so many resellers around the country and stuff. And a couple of them said almost the exact same thing. Says, you may not like them, but a sale is a sale, and it does add to your inventory. Yeah. And a lot of people say that, hey, you should list at least 3 to 5 items a day, because the activity keeps the people coming, and they may look at something else.
So that's something I have good experience on. Definitely listing. I try when I had good inventory, I was listing 10 a day.
Yeah,
and running sales and listing every day is huge.
Yeah,
you're better off listing 10 a day than trying to list and I know you were just getting started, but trying to list 90 over a weekend and then listing nothing Monday through Friday. You're better off trying to list 10 a day or if at that point 15 a day throughout the course of the week, just to show that activity. That's why people have people that know how the algorithm on eBay works. That's why they have a death pile, because they're not listening to all in one day. They're it out. Like right now, the inventory I have, I've cut back to 5 a day so I can stay active.
Yep.
Instead of doing
And
that.
don't look at it as a death pile. Look at it as a profit pile.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I agree. It's just kind of the fun term that everybody has for it, but
Right.
it's
Right.
money.
We're all guilty of it.
Now more than ever, the people with a death pile are like, "Hey, look at me! I got inventory for days."
Right.
I don't have much of a death pile. I was doing 10 or 15 a day, so my death pile is not gonna last me for more than a couple weeks.
Yeah. No, that's good. That is really good. Good morning, Lisa. Lisa, do you want to come in and say hello? I was just going through and offering to people to look at their eBay store and share it with the audience, and maybe if they were struggling with an item, we could help them. Like Jimmy, Uncle B's, just now added feature items to his store. He didn't have it, so hopefully that'll help. Oh, I like that Marvel Legends House of M.
Yeah, that was
That one.
that was part of a collection that I bought. I did pay quite a bit for that collection, and I'm not into the profit on it yet, but
Yeah.
I got like 180 toys between some Marvel stuff, some DC stuff, some Star Wars stuff.
Wow.
They were all still sealed in the package.
Do you collect also? Are you a collector, or you just want to resell it?
I'm going to collect when I can afford to collect.
Okay.
I'm getting close. Like I started off, and my eBay store was it's still doing really good, but it was doing amazing, and I was getting close to the point where it's time to start thinking about collecting, because I want to, but my plan is to grow this first, and then I'll go back and reevaluate.
Right.
I might keep a token from every collection that I buy, like maybe the last one that's left, not picking out characters or anything. This is a collection that I bought. I've made a lot of money on the collection. This is the last one left, so I'm going to put that and save it just as like a token.
Right.
And then eventually I'll go into the stuff that I love,
Yeah, have your collection pay for itself.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of us, we used to buy 2s and 3s of each thing. Hopefully we sell the other ones, and ours is free.
Yeah, it'll definitely be action figures, but I also like video games, so I'll be collecting video game consoles as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right now I don't have a collection. Everything I buy right now I sell, just because I want to grow. Right now I'm focused on growing this business.
Yeah.
So once I get it to where I want it, and I'm still a ways away from where I want it, but once I get it there, then I'll start looking at some of the money I'm making off of other people's collections. I'll build my collection.
Sure, and hopefully soon we'll be able to go out and do some yard selling and find some more cool stuff.
Right.
So I'm going to be a little bit of the selfish side of this whole thing. Is I'm so sad about not being able to yard sell.
Right. Yeah, I just looked yesterday at the estate sales, and everyone was canceled.
Yeah.
Everyone, and now they're all one was canceled until mid-April.
Well, you're in Florida, so you're like prime season right now, right?
It's year round.
Year round, okay.
It's Jerry, today. It is today, Jerry. Sorry.
Here in Denver, we're just now getting close to prime season, and to be told, sorry, you can't go to yard sales after I've been waiting all winter. Oof.
Right.
Tough one.
Yeah, I mean, it's been crazy here. We knew this was coming, so we went out, tried to buy some stuff, and because we don't know how bad it's going to be, and we just got to make it through it, and that's it. Just get along with it, and we'll get.
Yep. Yeah, it is what it is. That's just at this point, you just got to hope everything. I hope it gets better fast.
Right.
Let's get on the downside of the curve they keep talking about. Let's hurry up and get there, huh?
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
As far as please feel free to reach out to me. Join me on some of my live chats, and I'll be glad to talk about that. It could take an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right, I'm going to cut it here. Anthony and Nate are on their channel.
Yeah, they're on. Yeah, they're live.
On Come and Beyond.
appreciate the
Love those guys, man. I absolutely love watching those
Yeah.
guys.
And they're always talking about the same, almost the same stuff that we talk about. So thanks everybody for coming in.
Hey, Paul, that was a lot of fun. I appreciate you letting me drop in, man.
Cool. No, thank you. Thank you for coming in.
Bye, Adam.
So thank you, everybody. And I will see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
All right, rock and roll.
Bye.